Hi everyone and welcome back to the Female Magic podcast. You are here with Esther and today I have a special guest, Enas. So the first question I like to ask everyone is, what is your cultural background?
I am Sudanese of origin. That's my culture, basically African, East African. I was born in Saudi Arabia. I won't necessarily say that's my culture, but it's where I was partly raised. But yeah.
And how old was you when you moved here?
I was 8, turning 9 years old.
How did that feel at that age?
Coming to a new country, I don't know, like you have an idea, a concept in your head of what England would be like, and then you get here and it's completely different.
What was your idea?
Just like things from movies, like just seeing a whole bunch of white people, blonde hair. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Just from like movies and like the media, like I just expect seeing like loads of white people with long hair. But then coming here, like it's a very multicultural country. Okay. Obviously at the time, as 9 years old, I wasn't really that much aware of it. And also it was super cold, very cold.
What difficulties would you say you faced growing up?
So I feel like I kind of had two different childhoods growing up in a way, because part of it was in Saudi Arabia and the other part was in England. The part that was in Saudi Arabia, it was very much segregated in a way where I went to an all-girls school because that was the norm over there in regards to like religion and religious backgrounds. So like throughout primary school, like I think year 1 to year 4, I was kind of all-girls school. And you could imagine girls at that age very much, I don't know how to describe it without saying a bad word. Really, I got teased a lot just because of the way I looked, and I didn't really have that many friends, but I was kind of a loner in a way, but I didn't really think anything differently of it. And then I came to England and everybody wanted to be my friend, which was really weird.
That's cute though.
It is, yeah. I had a few friends in primary school that was amazing. One in particular, she was really, really lovely girl. And then going into high school, made more friends and, but I still kind of got teased and looked at differently and, becoming more aware of it as you get older, in like high school and stuff like that, because that's when
people are mean, or the meanest, yeah. Horrible.
I got spat at one time.
Really?
Yeah, by a boy. I will never forget that moment, but I've seen him after that, and it's like the thing I want to forgive, and I forgive him, but it's still.
I was going to say, didn't you want to like punch him in the face? Or?
No, I'm very much, now that I'm older, I'm very much like forgiveness is like the way forward, because it's kind of forgiving. It's for myself, honestly. Yeah. So like he was a child, but he was a young adult then, and he probably had his own issues at that time, whatever he was going through. Yeah. And I think that's how it happens, like bullying.
It's true, yeah, bullies are usually going through their own stuff, which creates them to like project it onto other people. Not excusable, but I guess as a teenager you don't really recognise these things, so it's good that you can forgive. I think I need to take a leaf out of that book in that respect. In regards to getting teased and stuff, are we talking mainly about your arm?
Yes, mainly about my arm. Everything else kind of around it was, like, you could tell it was mainly about the focus of that. Yeah. When I said about that boy that spat at me, he was like shouting. I don't know why he got so angry, but was basically telling me to like put my arm away, kind of thing.
Right.
And he was just like, it's disgusting.
I was gonna, yeah.
So it was mainly focused around that. So yeah, I think mostly didn't really have the same experiences as my able-bodied friends, if that makes sense.
And how did that make you feel? Because was you born with your arm this way?
Yeah.
And I guess when you was younger, did you just accept this to be you? And then did you struggle as you got older, or was it like a process throughout?
I didn't know anything different.
Yeah.
So I wasn't an amputee.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that sense of, identity before my hand and after.
It was just being a part of you.
Yeah, it's always been me. I didn't know anything different. So when you have people that kind of challenge you in the way that you look, I want to like use that word just because it's nicer, I guess. But like kind of challenge the way that you see yourself, having, seen yourself this way for such a long time. And then like having that happen, it can break a lot inside of you. If I don't know how to describe it. I guess it made me feel kind of where did I stand? Do you know what I mean? Where did I fit in?
Yeah, definitely. What types of dreams and goals did you have growing up? And were they ever shaped down to other people's opinions on yourself?
Growing up, I had so many, it's like I'm pretty sure everybody had this, but in every single aspect of your childhood to becoming a teenager, you kind of change throughout life. Definitely. So I'm pretty sure like at one point I wanted to be a doctor, at one point I wanted to be a teacher.
True. I wanted to be a lawyer once upon a time. Very true.
Yeah. So I changed a lot. But I think mostly what I want to be now is I always kind of wanted to help people in a way. I don't necessarily like the word inspirational, but I get called it sometimes a lot, and it's not like I don't like it, I just think it's like we all kind of have an inspirational aspect about us. Yeah. So I just want to be me, and I think that was it's so easy to say that, but like it literally I mean it with like my whole heart. Like I just want to be the true self, like who I am. Really.
Damn, sis! I'm glad I've got you on this podcast. Have you ever been afraid of failure then, throughout these times?
Yeah, as a kid, as a teenager, maybe more so. I used to do competitive poetry, and I think from there, like slam poetry, there was always a sense of like, you have to succeed, you have to get number one.
That was scary. Oh my God.
A lot. Like it's bad enough, not bad enough, but it's like daunting enough for you to get on the stage and rhyme a poem and that you've memorized. I know.
Those are hard times.
So then like getting like the scores and you're like, oh my God, am I gonna win it? Am I gonna lose? Like it was very competitive. Yeah. It was very daunting, to be honest, being there, but it taught me a lot. Yeah.
Did you ever go abroad with poetry?
No. There's like a funny story about that, but we won't go into it today. No, I didn't manage to go abroad. I think like the year that I was kind of really focused on poetry, I had my own mental health issues that were going on. At that age, I think I was like 15, turning 16.
Okay.
So it's like prime puberty age. Yeah. And I was doing the most. So I just thought, like I kind of lost out at that point, in that aspect of my life, like to experience slam poetry in the States. But I feel like everything happens for a reason, so I'm like, I'm here now.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, what are the things that you are proud that you've achieved so far?
Wow, also deep questions.
It's a deep podcast.
Yes. What are the things that I'm proud? Is it proud of? Did you say?
Yeah.
That I've accomplished. What have I accomplished? I've survived.
Which is a lot. I think we underestimate just the density of surviving in this world, especially in 2020. It's kind of mad. So.
Yeah, pat on the back. Yeah, I've survived. I'm still here, which is, I guess, something that I can be proud of. And what else? I've been helping a lot of other people with their mental health issues. I'm a trainee counsellor at the moment, so I'm proud of that in a way. But it's kind of weird saying that I'm proud of it because it's like it's not. I didn't really do the work. It's mainly them that do it. I just support them.
As in the people who want counselling.
Yeah. Even if I'm there.
Because do counsellors, the role of a counsellor, is it to like ask questions to help the other person figure it out themselves?
Yeah.
See, I struggled with that. I used to go to counselling when I was maybe 17, and for me, I really struggled with not being given an answer. But I guess that was my issues within myself. It just didn't help me, and it didn't bode well because I didn't know how to answer the questions that they were putting across. Yeah. How do you, or what would you do if there was a person in your care like that?
To be honest, the whole idea of counselling, it's because I do person-centred counselling, so it is client-led. So it's up to the client what they come in with and what they want to talk about. Sometimes clients just want to come in and just sit in silence sometimes, and you have to be okay with that. You know, sometimes it's going to be hard for them. I think maybe where you was at that time, from what you've described to me, you probably wasn't ready for you to actually explore those feelings yet. So maybe what you needed is a counsellor that would just allow you the space to feel comfortable enough to then spend time with them in order for you to actually be able to open up.
So there's loads of different types of counsellors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. So if you'd say if people don't know like where they're at in their head, maybe go to someone who would want to offer more time? Is that the right way to say it?
I guess so. I feel like counselling is very beneficial for most people. Everyone should, I believe that everybody should go to therapy.
Oh no, I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely, I agree.
But I think you have to shop around, because everybody thinks that, okay, I met with one counsellor and that's the counsellor that I'm meant to be with. If she's not good or he's not good, then I don't want to go to counselling anymore. But the whole idea of counselling is that it's good for you to shop around and, you know, go from one counsellor. So that's why counsellors normally give like a first session consultation for like half an hour or something like that, to just have a chat and get to know each other a bit more and what you want from counselling, that kind of beginning introduction. And if you don't like one counsellor, then that doesn't necessarily mean that counselling isn't for you. Maybe the counsellor that you was with wasn't necessarily for you.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that you said. Don't cut counselling off straight away just because the first counsellor or counselling session hasn't worked for you. That's a really good point. Yeah. So let's talk about this bionic arm, because this is like exciting. I had no clue about any of this. I had no clue about the issues that can come about, even in regards to like the NHS and the skin tones. Maybe we could start there. How was that for you, and what kind of skin tones did they offer?
Well, I remember going back to get a prosthetic hand, and I've stopped for a long while. I used to get it when I was younger. Okay. And then I stopped for about 10 years when I got older, because it wasn't really, I got to a point where it was kind of hindering rather than helping. But then I got to a certain age and I kind of was like, okay, well, this is offered to me by the NHS and it's something that, you know, I should utilize for my own health. As you get older, you know, things start not to feel as great anymore.
Yes.
So you think, you know, I'm hearing this crack here, this, you know, creak on my knees and all this stuff. So I thought, okay, maybe it's a good idea to go back and, you know, because I get orthopedics, basically your posture and that kind of thing. And then I get a prosthetics section. So it's both of them together. In regards to the skin tone aspect, I remember like looking at it, like because you get samples before they actually make a hand. You get samples of what, like a round sample, like, you know, if you go to a nail shop and you have to pick a color, it's kind of like that. It's like you pick samples, and then it was like a bunch of beige tones, like from the red, from the medium, and the undertones, all different beige colors, like white to beige. And then there's like a section right at the end, and there's like, I'd say maybe about 6, 7 different brown colors.
Okay, wow.
So like the further it goes down the spectrum of dark, it's like it's less.
Yeah.
It's like two dark browns colors, and then it just starts getting a bit lighter and lighter.
Okay.
But then it goes like into like a beige color.
Okay.
Like the cutoff point is not correct.
And how did that make you feel?
Underrepresented. It was really frustrating. Because you go there and you're like, oh, I want to, you know, find something that I can feel comfortable enough to wear. But when you put a hand on, I have to describe, like, if you put a hand on, if you put like a glove on, for example, and it just doesn't sit right with you, it doesn't fit, it doesn't look proper, it doesn't look appropriate, and it's like I might as well just take the whole glove off and just wear the hand how it looks. But even the aesthetic of the hand without the rubber or whatever it's made out of glove, it doesn't look great. It just looks old-fashioned.
And did you ever raise this to the NHS?
No, I never did. Not necessarily. I'm kind of like, I always felt like I was kind of being a burden in a way. Because even the hand that they made for me didn't fit properly. It was like really tight. And it's the fact that, you know, I had to go back and forth to get it actually fitted. And then doing so much rather than like, because they do like a cast of your hand, and that cast is supposed to be kind of it goes inside the hand, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? So they make a cast of your hand, and then they then, you know, fit it. Use that. As a fitting. But then it was kind of really loose at the back, so it used to just fall off. So what they did is they put like foam on the inside, but then it looked really bulky, like foam on the inside of the section. So then you had like the hand here.
And I can't imagine that being comfortable, right?
No, it was horrible. It was really tight, but then obviously at the time I'm like, it's kind of tight. And then I was like, well, maybe after a few wears, it kind of will start wearing off. And the doctor was like, yeah, it should, and blah, blah, blah. And then after that, because my hospital was really far, like it's just not easy for me to get there. So I just accepted it for what it is, and then I just left and never really went back again.
So then how did you get from that process to finding this or wanting this bionic arm, and what are the benefits of this arm?
Okay, so I have been searching the bionics section of like prosthetics for a while, and that's why I went back to the NHS, because they offered a bionic hand.
Oh, right, okay.
With them at the NHS.
Okay.
However, when I got to the NHS, I was like, oh, I know this, that you have this bionic hand, I've searched it and blah, blah, blah. the lady was basically like, the doctor was like, there's a waiting list, and if you was to put your name on a waiting list, you won't get one until like 40 years.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
That's how long it is, because it's so expensive through the NHS. There's a waiting list for it. Not everybody can get it. So obviously that was like, I don't need it when I'm 70. Like I'm 30 now. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So that kind of put me off. And then, but I kind of followed my own research, did my own research in regards to like bionics, and because I saw it every now and again, you know, when you research something once and Google just automatically like feeds you things, which is a problem, but you know, that's another day.
Another day, another story.
But it was like that, and then I came across Open Bionics, and it was just so weird, because it's like, I found their website, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And at the time, they had the first guy. He did a bionic hand that was inspired by Iron Man, I think it was, or like a game, some kind of DC movies, some bionic craziness.
Yeah.
And then after that, he basically I checked that out. And I kept looking every now and again, and then only like a month or two ago, I went on the website, and they was doing like sign-up sheets, like you can send them like a information, like you want this request basically. Yeah. I put it in, and the next day, somebody rang me. Wow. From Open Bionics, and she had like a chat with me, and she's one. She has the lady that I spoke to. She had Liz. She's called Liz. She had a limb difference as well. Okay. So it was really interesting to like not having this for my whole life, not speaking to anybody that looked like me, acted like me, in the way that I think of things, regards to my hand. To speak to somebody like that is exactly like me, was really interesting. Like we had like a nice chat about like what I would need it for, and all of these things, how it could benefit me, what the process is, all of that. And yeah, that's basically how it. And then after that, I just went, now we're here.
Yeah, the rest is history. So now you were doing a GoFundMe. How is that going so far?
It's going good so far. I started on the 11th, I believe the 11th of September. I have to raise around 10,000, and I'm at 4,405.
That's really good though. Did it scare you at all to put yourself out there and ask not only your friends and family, but you could argue a bunch of strangers, one, knowing your life story, and two, asking them for this money? Or were you always confident with it?
Yeah, it was very daunting, because most people, I never was that out there with my hand. I don't regret it, but I wish I would have been more comfortable with the way I looked, or my hand in general. Yeah. But I'm here now, so this is what it is. And then now not that many people kind of knew, because I wasn't that like vocal about it, or I wasn't like that open about it. Kind of was an unconscious thing that was kind of instilled in me. It was like unconsciously I would hide it at that age, like but then as I got older, I became more comfortable with it. So it was kind of not, I wouldn't say scary, but like you said, it was daunting. Yeah. To kind of be out there, like front. And if you saw my campaign, like there's a picture of me, and you can't like not see it. Yeah. So so it was kind of daunting, because some people didn't even know. Wow. Yeah, people didn't even know.
So, but since then, would you say you've gained a higher level of confidence within yourself, or are you still in the waters a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've definitely gained a lot of confidence, because I feel like I was in the right journey at that time to have it come up. and have this campaign up. I wish I would have done it earlier, but we're here now. But yeah, so like now I feel very, very much confident. I feel super confident to like just be like, this is me. This is what I'm like. Take it or leave it. Yes. So yeah, it has definitely improved my confidence a lot, because the feedback and the back from everybody has been so amazing, like the support, and everybody's like rooting for me, which is amazing. And then I think it also comes from within. So you have to be able to believe in yourself in order for you to achieve anything. So I had to come from me. I had to accept myself in order for other people to be open to accepting me. So yeah,
it's beautiful, man. So what advice would you give to people who are in similar positions like you? They might have whatever limb or body part. Literally, what would you say to them?
I think there's a space for everybody. And if you don't have a space, you should create one for yourself. It's like that thing where you have to, if there isn't a seat at the table, or there isn't a table for you to sit at, you make your own table.
Boom.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on the Female Magic podcast. And yes, I don't know how to end these yet, but yeah, thank you. It's okay.
Yay.